Good evening all. This is a lecture on the basics of time complexity analysis of a given algorithm. In the earlier video we have discussed on the basic methods of the algorithm and what is the basic need of the subject of this design and analysis of algorithm. In this video we are going to discuss on the basics of the time complexity analysis. So before going to the notation part, it is important to know how we can calculate the time complexity of a short code or programming code. So let us move into a programming code. One example is given here. Two variables are taken. Before going to the time analysis, I want to tell you one thing, that for each and every action of the code, the system takes 1 unit of time. For example, if we define some variable, if we assign some value to a variable, if we do some calculation, for example addition, subtraction, multiplications or division or remainder operator or anything else, or if we print something, we scan something, we call some function, or during the recursion, anything, for any kind of step, the required time is calculated as 1 unit of time. So in this example we may see that there are two variables I and j. For defining this I and j, 2 unit of time is taken. Then we are assigning 4 in the variable of I. So the time taken is 1. Similarly, j is 12, time taken is 1. Now we are dividing j by I. So for this division, 1 unit of time is taken, and then the assignment of the value, the result value to the I, again 1 unit of time will be taken. Next, for printed function, another unit of time is taken. So the total time required for this particular code is 7. So we are going to the next example. In this example, we have used one if and else case. So similarly, as the earlier example, there are two variables a and b. For assignment of defining the variable of a and b, the time taken is 2. 12 is assigned into a, 2 is assigned into b. The time taken is 1 and 1 respectively. Now the system is checking whether a is less than to b or not. So for this checking, 1 unit of time is taken. Then for each printf statement, 1 unit of time is taken, and for the braces there is no time is required. Now the thing is that if this statement is executed, after the execution of this statement, either this part will be taken care of or this part will be taken care of. So this much of code, that means if a, b and if a less than b, up to this is the common part. After this common part, we are going to the next part where either this statement will be executed or this statement will be executed. So any one of this statement we have to take. For both of them, 1 unit of time are required. So 5 plus any one of this, that is 1. So total required time is 6. This is the next example. This is as similar as the earlier one, only there are another additional printf statement in the first part of the if case. So the time complexity of this part is 2, 1 plus 1, and the time complexity of this part is only 1. So in this case, we have to consider this part as the time complexity is bigger than the time complexity of this part. So the common part we will take, that is 5, and for the next if case, we will consider the higher time complexity, not the less time complexity, as we have to ensure the time. When we are calculating the time complexity, we must ensure the time which can be taken maximum for this particular code to execute this as an execution time of this particular code. So the total time required is 7, that is 5 plus 2. In the next example, we may see one loop is there, for loop is there. It is very critical case. For the first sentence, there are two variables I and n, so the required time is 2. N is 3, the required time is 1. Now in the for loop, there are three sections. One is assignment, second one is the condition checking, and the third one is the increment or decrement operator. Now suppose we are using I++ and there is the value of n is suppose 5. So when it will run the program, that time what will happen? This for this it will 2, for this it is 1. Now coming to the assignment part. The assignment part is executed only one time, that is the first time. So from the next time onwards, the assignment part will not be executed. So for the assignment part, 1 unit of time is required. Now coming to the next section, that is the condition checking. So first time the condition will be checked, it will go inside, then increment decrement operator, then again condition will be checked. So the condition will be checked for n times, as the increment and decrement, the I is incrementing only one time, that is I++, that is I is I plus 1. So for this particular part, for this particular code, what will happen? The loop will continue for 5 times, as the value of n is 5. So 5 times it will run, and when I will become 6, that time also it will check this. It will not be satisfied that time, and it will come outside till it will execute this code. So this code will run for 5 times plus 1 time for not satisfying the condition. So it will be n plus 1 time will be required for this particular code. I++ will be executed for n times only, and the code inside in the for loop will run for n times, as there are two statements, two printf statements. So for each statement 1 unit of time is required, so total 2 unit of time is required, and that 2 unit of time will be run for n times, so it will be 2 into n. So now the total number of time required is 2 plus 1 plus 1, n plus 1 n, and 4 and 2n. So the total number of time required is 5 plus 4n. Now see, you can see that as it is I++, if we make it I is equals to I plus 2, in this case this code will run twice, that is exactly half of 5, that is 5 by 2, it is 2 in integer. So based on the condition, based on the programming code, this will vary, and basically it is not the n, it is this n is basically the number of times the for loop will run. So this is how we can calculate the time complexity for a particular loop. Hope this video will help you to calculate the time complexity of each and every short codes. In the next video, we will discuss on the time complexity analysis with notation. Thank you for watching us.